हाँ
तो इरफान तुम ज़रा खैर खैरियत लोगों से पूछो, क्योंकि जब तक मैं ज़रा सेटिंग करता हूँ कुछ अलग दिख रहा। एंड तुम्हारी आवाज़ कम करो, वापस मेरे को आ रही पलटा के तुम्हारे फ़ोन से।
ओह सॉरी मैम। आप सबको ईद मुबारक हमारी तरफ से। और हम रमज़ान में नहीं कर सके, इसकी वजह ये थी कि एक तो रमज़ान में बहुत टाइम नहीं मिलता ज़्यादा कुछ करने, और अ, मेरे बाबा को कोविड हो गया था, तो कहीं नहीं जाके किसी से नहीं मिल के, तो मैं आप लोगों से फिर से आप लोगों को इंकरेज करूँगा कि प्लीज़ एहतियात करिए। ये मजाक नहीं है। ऑल्दो परेशान होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, मतलब होता फिर इंशाल्लाह सही हो जाएगा, तो उतना परेशान हो के ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हो जाता, तो परेशान मत होइए। बाबा भी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ठीक हो गए, लेकिन
एंड
एहतियात करना तो ज़रूरी है।
या लेकिन और लास्ट टाइम जब हम लोग आए थे ऑनलाइन, जब भी हम लोग वी ट्राइड रिमोट लास्ट टाइम, लेकिन रमज़ान से पहले। लेकिन उसके बाद इंडिया के हालात इतने बुरे हैं। आई होप एवरीवन इज वाचिंग एंड एवरीवन सबके आसपास जितने भी लोग हैं, जितने भी है, सब ठीक खैर खैरियत से है, क्योंकि इट्स रियली बैड आउटसाइड। एंड सिंस वी आर लाइक नेगेटिव, वी आर स्टिल नॉट मीटिंग फॉर द शो, एंड हम लोग के काम भी रिमोटली चल रहे हैं। सो इट्स अ रिक्वेस्ट फॉर एवरीवन कि भाई घर में बैठो। एवरीथिंग इज ई कॉमर्स चल रहा है, सो यू कैन जस्ट order stuff online, be safe. That's the whole point. And
So that's also the reason we are doing live like this, not being together. And from our
yeah,
house, Fahad Shakil, Assalamu alaikum.
and we haven't met for कितने दिन हो गए, and we just met
होता है।
once or twice in between, वो भी 5 मिनट के लिए, though we are not affected to it. So this is something very serious, so please do take care of yourselves. And yeah, and Irfan, I think should I just go online? कितने लोग हैं अभी?
तीन तीन है।
Yeah, like also do let us know कि आवाज़ सही आ रही है नहीं आ रही है, because this is kind of a new setup we are doing, and I think we'll be following up. So अगर आपको कुछ दिख रहा कि सही है नहीं है, so do let us know. And yeah, that will be helpful for us to continue this podcast this way. And you can follow us on all social platforms and radios, online web radios, so do that. तो हाँ इरफान कुछ बोल रहे थे, sorry.
Yeah, also I'll try to talk to you in the camera, but I have to see the screen here because it's like a webcam.
I know,
So
मैं
it
ऐसे ही
might feel
बैठा
a
है।
little off. तो हमारे संवाददाता
आइए
जो है,
हमारे संवाद,
हमारे
हम आप जैसा
हमारे
देख सकते हैं,
संवाददाता।
आप जैसा कि देखा आज की खबर इरफान भाई, वेदर अपडेट आज जैसा देख सकते हैं, ज़बरदस्त कोयल गारी बाहर, और बारिश के बहुत बड़े आसार है। और आप लोगों को जैसा पता है कि हम रह रहे हैं 2021 में, लेकिन बारिश होते ही लाइट अभी भी जाती है। सो हम लोग
तो
अगर अब
शायद लाइट
लाइव,
चले आ सकती है।
हाँ तो हम लोग अगर लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग से गायब हो गए, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि लाइट चले गई है। अगर वैसा सूरत हाल हुआ, अगर सूरत वैसे उस सूरत में आप लोग प्लीज़ हमें स्टिल क्या क्या बोल रहा था मैं,
अपना
भूल गया।
प्यार बांटिए।
अपना प्यार बांटिए, गवर्नमेंट को ज़रा गालियाँ दिए कि भाई 2021 आ गया, लेकिन पावर का सोल्यूशन आज तक नहीं हुआ, जो कि आई डोंट नो। Okay, so we have some topics to talk about. There's a couple of requested topics as well, so we're going to talk about that. And so the topics now is going to be on the screen. So Irfan, just read them all out, please.
So today's topics are, first, I think he's going to talk about Sony Buds, that they released new buds. I love buds. I use personally. I use Bose, and I like them. But the concept of buds is really good. Then we'll talk about Photoshop and Lightroom. What are the differences? How do you use them? Why do you prefer one over the other? Or is it like that? The third one is how to develop your style, whether it's in photography, whether it's in video, or even painting, I'd say. How do you develop your own style, that recognizable style that this artist is doing this? So we'll talk about that as well.
Chalo, sahi hai. So the first topic is really, I'm a Sony, I've been a Sony fan since TVs के ज़माने में since PlayStation जब था PlayStation story. So always I have a soft corner for Sony brand. पहले मैं BlackBerry use करता था and all that stuff. मेरी history तो past है, लेकिन still I'm using a Sony phone which are not launched in India. Lekin, but I still love it, and I love the tiny details the Japanese company goes through, and we are talking about the new Buds, jo ke Sony walon ne, it's leaked yet, it's nothing official, lekin it's been going on like leaked hote gaye, and you can see over here, this is the new model. I have the old one right here. Joe, I think many people know it was the first earbud to have noise cancellation. So the new one looks really promising. It looks really smaller than the old one right now because abhi jo hai mere paas is kind of, this way. I don't know if it's in focus or not. So it's kind of a big bump out of a ear. Not as bad as what is that? iPhone, Apple के कौन सा है वो? AirPods?
सब में ज़्यादा तो बोस के निकलते बाहर.
Yeah, nikalte Bose ke हाँ. It's kind of like a droid thing. I think you have Irfan. Agar hai to dikhao wo. So the one I have right now, which has active noise cancellation, and it's kind of really good. And बारिश बहुत तेज हो रही है तो light जाने की बहुत उम्मीद है. अगर गई मुबारक, नहीं गई तो भी मुबारक.
I'll show you.
Anyway, so I have this one, and it has a touch control over here. Over here. So you can actually, it's touch active controls. So the one Irfan just showed is the Bose first version of Bose, जो कि second version थोड़े बेहतर है. And the new ones from Sony, why I'm excited about it is क्योंकि they are much smaller, and all the leaked images show the comparison as well with the old one. I think it's over here. So they comes in two colors. ये भी पहले थे. It comes in like white and gold and black and gold. And the cases are significantly smaller again, so which is a good thing क्योंकि it's not going to be as small jitna dikha rahe hain because these are the render pictures, but it's significantly smaller with large capacity. Phir you can see the two buds side by side. This is the one what I have. Lekin over here you have the new ones which are coming up, which also have, which is touchpad ऊपर रहेगा, इसके भी touch controls है. And the most excited thing what I'm really excited about is two mics. Call quality is better. लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा I'm excited about the LDAC codec, which is like the highest quality Bluetooth codec. And for the first time in buds they are getting it, like the first time they did with noise cancellation earbuds. So I'm excited about that. It is rumored to launch in June first week, or announced. I think फिर जुलाई में सेल स्टार्ट होगा. And I'm kind of screaming, I think, Irfan, right? क्योंकि पीछे बारिश इतनी हो रही है, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा कितनी आवाज में मैं बात कर रहा हूँ.
चीख बेटा, तेरा ही लाइव है.
Okay.
जितना चीखता चीख.
Okay, so this is about the new earbuds. I'm excited about it. और इरफान, तुम मेरे ख्याल से उतना यूज नहीं करते, right? Earbuds?
हम वॉकिंग एक्सरसाइज के वक्त.
लेकिन I do it a lot क्योंकि
What is the price estimated for this?
The price estimation is going to be again around $250 to $300 जो कि हर बड है.
That is approximately 10 rupees.
इंशाल्लाह अगर निज़ाम का दौर होता तो शायद 10 रुपए.
उसके टाइम में आई थिंक $3 1 रुपया था शायद, और उससे भी पहले कहते बाबा मेरे को बोले $1 $10 था. वही
तो बोल रहा हूँ, उससे पहले के उसमें गए तो आपकी बात सही थी. 10 रुपए 30 रुपए. Anyway, खैर. So it's तो ये था about the Sony upcoming earbuds, and I'm gonna switch on to the next topic क्योंकि भाई बारिश इतनी जोर से हो रही है. I don't know light अभी तक कैसा नहीं गई. I'm surprised. So let's talk about the Photoshop.
तुम लाइव कर रहे हैं बल्कि रुक गए होंगे लोग.
हाँ, ये भी हो सकता.
इतना बड़ा आदमी लाइव जा रहा, कैसा लाइट बंद कर सकते.
Anyway, so this was about the earbuds. So quick look. Inshallah, when I buy it, I'm going to show it as well. There's one more thing which I wanted to show, lekin later. Irfan, start karo aap.
Bros, you can give some hearts for my lovely jokes. ये मेरे करना था लाइव पे.
Good, Irfan. सही है.
Thank you, bros.
Okay, anyway.
Okay.
अब तुम full screen कर रहे हो, अगर screen तो मेरे को बोलो, then I'll switch it over.
हाँ हाँ कर रहा हूँ, हाँ हाँ करूँगा, ज़रूर करूँगा, क्यों नहीं करूँगा, बताओ
बताइए
क्यों नहीं
बताइए
करूँगा।
बताइए बताइए
ये मैं
बताइए।
गया लाइव, ये मैं
हाँ
जा रहा
हाँ।
हूँ फोटोशॉप में.
ओके।
Your stream, we just pause this preview to save your resources. Okay, can you see it?
हाँ भाई दिख रहा. So tell me
uh,
why exactly, what exactly are you gonna show? फिर उसके बाद क्या दिखा रहे, क्या कर
okay,
रहे हैं?
so we'll show firstly what is the difference between Photoshop and Lightroom. Well, Photoshop is a pixel based photo editor. So whatever manipulation you do it on a pixel level, which I'll explain later. And Lightroom is more like or you can say like a phone app, okay, equivalent to it, like on a desktop or a laptop, where you can do various things, as in brightness, contrast, and many other things. But let me show that to you. Give me a second. Okay. So if I open, I don't have Lightroom because I don't use it, but I'll show you what's it used for.
Mm-hmm.
I use it for, so here you can see this camera raw is exactly how Lightroom is. Okay, so personally, I used Capture One. You can say it's an equivalent to Lightroom and used for the same purposes. So here you can see you can change exposure, you can do contrast and basic adjustments. That's not the topic of this video. So why this is because whatever you do in Photoshop is made like camera raw is how do I put it? So to understand both, you have to understand the workflow of editing a photo. Okay, the photo comes out of the camera as a raw. If it is, I mean, the workflow is meant to be like that. If it's raw, it's not very. The contrast is not correct. It's very flattish kind of thing, right? And you want to stylize it and get all the details. So the workflow first step is to fix that raw into a good image. I mean, good. Go into Photoshop and do any pixel level editing. So, for example, here, if I just put in some good exposure example like that, and then I want to remove this, what do you call the number
Number
plate?
plate. Yeah.
So obviously, I cannot do it in this camera raw, which is equivalent to how Lightroom is or Capture One is. It's not meant to do that. So I can obviously go into clone and do that, but it's very fuzzy and it's not meant to be like that. So once you do that, I can open that in Photoshop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here, then I can go in here and do, for example, I want to remove this. I'm just giving an example.
So yeah,
So,
as you can see what
so
he's
this is
doing
the
right
workflow,
now.
right? So
So
this is the workflow. So instead of camera raw, it'll be Lightroom or Capture One. So, but the place where it comes in the workflow is the same at the first stage.
mm-hmm.
But it's not a replacement for Photoshop, and Photoshop is not a replacement for Lightroom. It's not like that. They are meant to be used in parallel, not in parallel, like concurrently or back and forth, and they are meant to be used together as Photoshop being something that's at pixel level that you want to do some pixel level changes. If I want to go and remove, for example, I want to remove these wires, you cannot do that in Photoshop, sorry, in Lightroom or Capture One, but you can do that in Photoshop. So, and then you save it, and then it'll reflect back into Lightroom or Capture One. Uh, so, that's the process. You do a global level adjustment where you look at the whole image, you do the color, you do the brightness, everything. Then you go into pixel level in Photoshop, and then you come back and save the file. Okay. So that is how the difference is. Then that is how Photoshop and Lightroom are meant to work together, and you'll see that in Lightroom as well. When you right click, you'll say open in Photoshop with adjustments, without adjustments, and because it's meant to be used like that. So
okay,
those are
chalo.
the differences.
वो screen अगर तुम share off कर दिए तो I'll move to the main screen again.
Okay, you wanna see my beautiful face?
Okay. So कैसा था इरफान बिजली?
God damn, that's nice, man.
Okay. तो सुनो. Okay, let's do a conclusion about it. I mean, जब पूछे थे, it's a requested topic about someone, like what is the difference between the two. एक चीज like सीधे साधे मायने में, it's really interesting to see Adobe making so many. Look at suite में कितने apps है? Around 15 apps, right? 15 softwares है अलग अलग, and all apps can do all things अलग अलग से, और दे कैन अगर मैं कोई वेक्टर फाइल में, अगर मैं कोई इलस्ट्रेटर में अगर पीएसडी खोला, आई कैन प्ले विद द फोटोशॉप लेयर्स. अगर मैं लाइटरूम की कोई फाइल फोटोशॉप में खोला, आई कैन कंटिन्यू सीमलेसली एंड डू द मैनिपुलेशन व्हाट आई हैव टू डू. सो that there is a reason why Lightroom and Photoshop exist independently. और ये है, see Photoshop as a manipulating tool, like he said, like he showed, कि आपको अगर वायर्स हटाना है, ये सब छुपाना है, you can't do that on Lightroom. लेकिन if you're doing a studio perfect photo shoot and you don't need any photo manipulation later in post process, Lightroom is amazing. Lightroom does everything, right? Correct me if I'm wrong here, Irfan.
It does on a global level. So it's not just removing wires, as I said. There are many other things in Photoshop. For example, the curves are much better in Photoshop. The other example, like the color balance tool, or the what others I use. The color balance, the levels, and then there is like gradient maps and all of that. You cannot do that in Lightroom. So it's not only meant for pixel level. You can do some global adjustments which you cannot do in Lightroom. But the point of this is it's not a replacement for Lightroom, and Lightroom is not a replacement for Photoshop.
Well, that is true.
So it's meant like two separate things which are supposed to work together. You cannot do everything in a single program, right? So it's the same for any other program. So
अच्छा, वैसे एक चीज़ अच्छी है, just to remind you guys, कि Adobe has released 2 different packages, right? एक है, you have to buy full suite for X amount of money every month, and also subscription, और एक है जो सिर्फ Photoshop और Lightroom का है, right? या फिर सिर्फ Lightroom का है?
Photoshop and Lightroom.
And that cost less than, that cost around 600 rupees per month. That is nothing. Like, if you're a photographer, you're not a videographer, and if you want a good tool, you're getting it for 600 per month, right? I mean,
if you're charging your clients thousands of rupees, I would really encourage you to go and buy that.
Exactly.
Not pirate it.
आपके एक उसमें you'll get like ज़बरदस्त. Anyway, so what I'm going to do right now is आवाज़ आई वो. What I'm going to do right now is again putting out the topics before the power goes, and we're going to move on to the last topic of the day, which is Irfan.
Yes, how to develop your style, whether it's in photography, whether video or painting or whatever. How do you develop your style it doesn't happen overnight. You have to do it over the years, and you'll eventually do it, but I'll give you some steps how you can recognize and how you can develop it. I used to get some comments before when I was on Instagram saying when they see my photo, they can instantly recognize that it's my work. So that is a very huge compliment for me. And even though I'm not like a great photographer, but then
अरे
that's
इरफान
like
भाई,
a very heart touching.
अपने आप को गिरा लो ना को भाई. You're a good photographer.
लेकिन ऐसा जब कमेंट आता तो बहुत खुशी होती कि people recognize your work only by seeing it.
मैं कर रहा हूँ अब तारीफ इरफान, तुम्हारे ऐसा फोटोग्राफर आज तक ही शायद ही मैंने आज तक देखा.
तो इसी के साथ
नहीं वैसा
कोई बताना चाहते हैं. तो जो है ना, so when they see your work, they recognize your style, whether it's whatever, it's black and white, whether it's some kind of colors that you choose.
नहीं, ये एक कॉमन सी बात है. जस्ट टेक अबाउट द मूवीज, राइट? अगर क्रिस्टोफर नोलन की है या किसी और की है या स्टीवन स्पीलबर्ग की है, तो आपको एक अंदाजा हो जाता है कि अरे भाई ये स्टाइल इसका है. अगर कोई और किसी से कॉपी करा तो इससे इंस्पायर्ड है, राइट? सो
even though you might not be able to put a finger on what is the style, like ये करता ऐसा शायद नहीं बोल सकेंगे, लेकिन आप जब ओवरऑल देखते हैं ना, आपको एक सेंस में आ जाता है कि ये उसका होगा बोल के. क्योंकि और सेम इट गोज विद म्यूजिक एज वेल. इफ यू लिसन टू सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ म्यूजिक, यू कैन ऑलमोस्ट से दैट इट्स बाय A.R. रहमान. If you listen to something, you can say it's by Pink Floyd, right? So
Luckily.
So style,
Hmm.
yeah, style would be in anything that is artistic or yeah, your expression basically.
Hmm.
So that is a huge compliment when people recognize it. But first, you need to understand what you like. Okay, so if now also how people confuse this is people see that they go to certain people's or companies Instagram and they see everything being very in their style. तो आप उसके इंस्टाग्राम पे जाते हैं आपको सब सिमिलर सिमिलर दिखता राइट
Yeah.
बहुत अच्छा दिखता दिखने में लेकिन फिर ये होता कि आप जब अपना इंस्टाग्राम बनाते आप ये रिकग्नाइज करते कि सिमिलर रहना राइट एंड देन यू ट्राई टू पुट इट इन अ सेम format so that your Instagram feed looks good, but then you are just following it because first 3 or 4 photos you did a certain style and then you're just following it up. You're not building your style. You don't actually know what you like. You cannot pinpoint what are the factors that you like in your artwork, whatever it is. But you just keep on putting which looks similar and then you put it in the feed. You have these other apps where you can put photos and see how they look together. And then you don't like something, you remove and you put something else which looks better, right? Now, with that, your Instagram feed might look good, but then you're not building any style personally. You don't have a sense of what you like and what you don't like
Yeah.
to do. So
That said,
that will
नहीं,
hurt. Yeah, that will hurt your long time style building and how you like your art to be.
well, that said, that is very true. लेकिन उसका मतलब ये नहीं है, look, I'm talking to the viewers and whoever actually asked this question, कि उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि you can't get inspired by someone else. Every work needs inspiration. Every work needs, like, for imagine भाई, someone who, you know, 1900 or 1905 में first X-ray machine, X-ray, like, थियोरिटिकली मशीन बनाई एक इंसान ने, आई फॉरगॉट हिज नेम, डू यू रिमेंबर, खैर जो भी है, तो उसने क्या किया, उसके ऊपर लोग डेवलप करते हैं, दे टेक इट एंड गेट इंस्पायर्ड, उसके ऊपर डेवलप करते हैं. इट्स लाइक लीप, यू कैन से लीप फ्रॉग या कुछ भी. सो दैट इज हाउ एवरीथिंग इवॉल्व्स, कि आप ऑलरेडी जो काम हो गया, गेट इंस्पायर्ड बाय इट एंड उससे अच्छा काम करके दिखाओ. सो इवन इन स्टाइलिंग इट्स द सेम थिंग. आप किसी की चीज़ पसंद आई, इसकी पसंद आई, उसकी पसंद आई, यू नो, एवरी वन टेक्स इट. हर का परसेप्शन अलग है, हर की सोच अलग है. तो यू नो, आपका इंस्पिरेशन भी एक अलग टाइप भी हो सकता है दूसरे इंसान से. सो यू कम आउट विथ योर वर्जन ऑफ इट, combining 3-4 works that you like, and you create your own unique look. So what I'm trying to say is कि अगर आप किसी से इंस्पायर होके कुछ कर रहे हैं, चाहे वो कलरिंग हो या फिर डायरेक्शन हो, that's not bad. That's not ethically bad. You have to learn from the, you know, from the gurus या जो भी है, and come out with,
True, but
and
what I also want to say is that if you are just I mean, if you like a certain style and then you try to get inspired by it and then you build up, you do whatever, you might get some good work, you might not get some good work in your previous days when you don't know what your style is.
exactly.
And then you'll be like, you like certain things, but you won't know why do you like it. So that is a problem. If you do not know why do you like it or what are you doing in it that you like, then you won't be able to recreate it. You won't be able to do it again and again, and you won't be able to understand what are the things that you like in your art. So it just happens, and it shouldn't be like that because you're an artist, and when somebody comes to you, they have an expectation. When somebody asks me to photograph something, they already know. When they see my portfolio, they already know what they can expect from my work and how my style
Yeah.
is. Even though I don't necessarily need to spell it out for them, but when they see my portfolio, they have a very good idea of how it is going to be, and most probably 90% it'll be like that how my
Yeah.
work showed in the first place.
Yeah.
So if you do not know that, then you cannot recreate, and
हाँ,
then
it'll be, वो खिचड़ी पक गए वैसा हो जाता, like कोई
it'll be a
expect करे.
guesswork.
या वो अब मैं तुम्हारे पास आया, फॉर एग्जांपल, ओके, इरफान बहुत डिटेलिंग शॉट्स अच्छा लेता, उसके स्किन टोन्स अच्छे रहते एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. अब इरफान मियाँ वहाँ उनके घर में सोचते हुए बैठे, मियाँ अब नेक्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट आया तो मैं कुछ खेलूंगा इसके साथ. अब मेरे को नहीं मालूम उन्हें क्या खेलने वाला है, राइट. तब मैं अब गया, इरफान एक फ़ोटो शूट है, आई लाइक योर वर्क या कुछ भी, तो मैं को प्रोजेक्ट दिया मिला के. लेकिन नेक्स्ट टाइम देखा तो इरफान भाई गुल खिला दिए, क्या बोले तो इरफान भाई का
हाँ.
नया स्टाइल है. सो दैट कैन हैपन. आई मीन,
That can happen when you are when you tell that in their face that I want to do it like this. Do you like it? If they do not, then you do not. Obviously, if they want to experiment, if it looks something good, then it's fine. But the point is, uh, instead of me saying चलो ये experiment करेंगे, वो तो बहुत आगे का स्टेज है जब मेरे को मालूम कि मैं क्या
क्या
अलग कर रहा
करने
हूँ.
वाले, या
हाँ. लेकिन शुरू में क्या होता, मैं गेस वर्क करता हूँ, अरे ये अच्छा दिख रहा शायद, ये अच्छा दिख रहा
या
शायद, तो
सेटल होने से
इसमें क्या
पहले
होता.
ऑलवेज, या.
हाँ. तो then your work, your style is not consistent, and your clients cannot expect what you are going to deliver. Sometimes it's very saturated, sometimes it's something else, right? So the first step is for you to recognize what are the styles that you like. And there's a good exercise that I did before, and I think it'll help you, which I can share with you, is that whatever your work is, whether it's photography, whether it's video, whether it's you know, clothing designer, or whatever you are, musician, okay. What you can do is you can select about 10 people of that same profession or that same art, whose work you like. So if I'll talk in terms of photography, but that'll same apply to any musicians, um,
Any other
clothing
field, yeah.
designers, yeah, any other field.
Any creating field, yeah.
Yeah. So if it's a photographer, so I'll select 10 photographers. Okay, these are the these are the people whose work I like.
People's,
Then I'll select 10 photos from their.
बोलिए. I'm sorry.
So 10 photographers. Okay, then I'll select 10 photos from those 10 photographers. That'll give me about what, 100 photos?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
10 tens, 100, right?
Yep.
So I'll have 100, 10 from one, 10 from one, okay, like that, 100 photos. Now, in that, how do I select those 100 photos? I go to their portfolio, I select the top 10 best that I like from each photographer, and that way I'll have 100 photographs from 10 people that I like the most. Okay? Now, once I have that 100 photographs, I'll go further, okay, and I'll trim down as if I'm a photo critique, okay. I'll just put them in a single folder. I won't know
Filter
whose work
out
is
कर रहे basically.
whose.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm not going so now I'm not going that this is done by this person, this is done by this person, right? Because then I'll have a bias. So I don't want to do that. I'll put all the photos in a single folder. I don't know whose work is whose, right? I might know, but then I might not, right? And then from that 100, I'll try to try to select only 10. Okay, from that 100, I'll go 50. From 50, I'll do 40, 30, 20, 10. So that 10 photos are my top most favorite photos from all those 100, which were again from the best that I liked, right? So those 10 are the top of the top that I personally like. Now those 10 photos are what I'm going to study. How do I study it? Is I'll see what are the similarities between them. Maybe there are more of browns in every photo, or there are more of contrast, a certain contrast, or maybe there's some
So
expression in
basically,
it.
ये जो practice है तुम्हारा, you are doing the homework to find क्यों तुम्हारे खुद को पसंद है वो, right? Like you want to understand. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Because when you see your work, अरे ये photo अच्छी है, ये photo अच्छी है, you don't really pinpoint things that you like in that photograph.
Yeah, you
And
just don't
everything
know,
does
but
not
you
come
say
out
कि
of
हाँ.
luck.
Hmm.
As an artist, you should be able to do it again and again, recreate again and again, right?
Yeah.
When you see a painting by Van Gogh, you instantly recognize it's Van Gogh. Or if anybody is copying that, you can instantly say that he's copying Van Gogh, right? So because of his style, how he developed it. So that's how then from those 10 photographs, so the same would be for 10 songs, maybe if you're a musician, or 10 film pieces if it's for filmmaking, or 10 garments if it's for clothing, and any other field. So these 10, I'll try to recognize what are the similarities between them. Okay. I'll go back and forth, see every photo on those 10, and see maybe. So how it would turn out is, I'll go back and forth, see every photo on those 10, and see maybe. So how it would turn out is, I'll go back and forth, see every photo on those 10, and see maybe. So how it would turn out is, I'll go back and forth, see every photo on those 10, and see maybe. So how it would turn out is, for me, for example, I liked a little bit of less saturation personally, which is more like realistic. That is what I liked. These are the similarities I found between the photos that I selected. Then I saw that I like photos with very realistic expressions, as in, not like smiling photos like that or anything,
Pouting.
but very. No,
Hmm.
I don't like
Huh.
that. So I liked very realistic.
Hmm.
Then I also liked very earth tones. So I did not really like, except for red. I like red, but other than that, I did not like any. I like very earth tones, as in brownish and things like that, right? So
Hmm.
similarly, it'll be different for you. You might like very colorful, contrasty photos, and it's nothing wrong with that. Every That's how you build a style. Then you'll write all these down. What are the things that you like? I like colors. I
Hmm.
like color blocking, for example. I like people doing funny faces or whatever, right? All your similarities, and this is how you recognize the recipe of what makes a good photo for you.
Hmm.
Okay, and then when you get work, you'll try to refer these notes. Okay, there are no pictures now, there's only notes. That you like colors, that you like these certain colors, for example, that you like this kind of a contrast, that you like bright or dark photos or whatever it is. And then you'll try to see this recipe and then try to do your personal projects. Please don't do this on clients' work.
Yeah.
Do it on your personal projects. Whatever you want to do, you'll see the notes. You'll try to incorporate those notes. That, okay, I like funny faces, I want you to make a funny face. So he'll make a funny face and you'll click that, right? I like dark photos, okay, let's make this darker. Okay, you do it like that, and then you try to build projects out of it. And then you'll have, eventually, after years and years, you won't even have to refer any notes. You'll almost instantly
Yeah.
know what you like.
That's your
And
second nature later on.
yeah, and you don't even say that this is what I like, I want to do it. Okay, you'll just do it because that's how you are, that's how you express, and that's how it's infused into you, right? So it'll come over the years. But in the initial, you can do this kind of an exercise.
हाँ सही है लेकिन इरफान भाई मेरे को बहुत अब तुम्हारी बात सुनते सुनते मेरे को हंसी आ रही थी कि ऐसे कई क्लाइंट्स है जो अपन जिसको नो बोल दिए शायद अब हमारे टेस्ट सब्जेक्ट्स रह सकते थे उनके प्रोजेक्ट्स वी कैन एक चीज कर
हम
एक
ऐसा नहीं कर
चीज कर
सकते।
सकते थे यू नो
धोखाबाजी बोलते उसको।
धोखेबाजी के क्या है मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि हाँ भाई ऐसा करेंगे खैर बात सही है धोखेबाजी की वी कांट डू दैट विश वी कुड लेकिन anyway so
You can, if you are very open about it. If you are saying that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to experiment, then obviously you can, if they agree to it. But
सही
if they
बात है
expect something from you, then you have to deliver what they expect, right? So that's what they
लेकिन
are
भाई
paying
यहाँ
you
का
for.
क्लाइंट को एक्सेप्ट करते एक्सपेक्ट करने नहीं आता भाई देते 2 रुपए अभी भी तुम जैसा तुम शुरू में बोले नहीं तुम जैसा शुरू में शुरू करे कितने हैं 300 $300 बोले
चार
तो तुम
आने के
पूछे
बंदर
10 रुपए राइट
चार आने के बंदर को आठ आने की
तो
रस्सी होना।
तो बात भी वैसी होती 10 रुपए देते लेकिन $300 की चीज चाहिए बोले तो कहाँ से दे सकते क्या निजाम का दौर है
हाँ,
निजाम सरकार थे
तो
निजाम सरकार चले गए
ऐसे में भी
आज
हाँ,
अच्छा
बाय द
सुनो
वे,
सुनो सुनो ये फोटो शेयर हो रही इन द टाइम्स ऑफ निजाम बोल के ईदगाह की शेर हो रही ईद की नमाज में पूरे रोल्स रॉयस में ठहरे हुए आजकल ऑटो ठहरा हुआ है कौन से जमाने में जी रहे बड़े भाई
देखा तो। तो ये मैं आपको बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि ये भी सवाल बहुत लोग करते, सो आई जस्ट वांट टू एड्रेस बिफोर वी हैंग दिस अप, is when people pay less and they expect more, what do you do? What do you do?
सॉरी फिर से सवाल करो
बोलिए।
सॉरी मैं देख रहा था
आप जैसा बोले 100 रुपए दे के 3,000 की चीज एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, तो आप क्या बोलेंगे?
यानी मैं क्लाइंट हूँ या मैं मेरे
मैं
पे तो क्या तुम क्लाइंट है
मैं सीख रहा हूँ अभी, तो मैं
अच्छा,
आपसे सवाल कर रहा हूँ
क्या
कि
अगर
भाई
क्लाइंट आके बोला तो आप क्या बोलते हैं
क्या
Well,
बोलना, मैं मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा भाई, बोलिए क्या करना।
नहीं उनको बस सीधा डायरेक्ट सीधा बोल देना कि भाई ये बजट में आई कांट डू नथिंग फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप एक्सपीरियंस से आता ही है कि यू विल हैव लाइक डिफरेंट टियर ऑफ projects going on in your mind कि भाई high budget इतने तक मिनिमम हाई, अगर मैं हाई प्रोडक्शन करने वाला हूँ लाइक भयानक जितना भी दिल खोल के करने वाला हूँ तो मिनिमम मुझे ये कोट करना पड़ता. अगर नहीं उतना हाई बजट प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है, मीडियम बजट प्रोजेक्ट है, तो आपके दिमाग में सेट हो जाता, जो कि अगेन एक्सपीरियंस से आता कि मिनिमम आई हैव टू चार्ज दिस मच फॉर डूइंग दिस आउटपुट. वैसे ही सब में लो वाला भी, अगर दे आर आस्किंग लो वाला दे के उतना हाई चाहिए, जस्ट से नो. अगर लो से भी बहुत कम
give
है,
a reason. That's a very good way. Just say directly and give a reason why it cannot happen.
well,
Because if they ask कि क्यों नहीं हो सकता, तो आप साफ बोल सकते भाई जब आप पैसे दे रहे नहीं,
yeah.
मैं ये चीजें ला नहीं सकता हूँ,
इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं आ
कर नहीं
सकते,
सकता हूँ.
इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं आ सकते. लाइक इरफान, यू नो, मैं देख रहा हूँ अभी थोड़े क्लासेस ऑनलाइन सिंस वी आर स्टक इन होम. एक प्रोडक्ट फोटोग्राफी, एंड यू हैव डन प्रोडक्ट फोटोग्राफी योरसेल्फ, लेकिन आई एम प्रीटी मच श्योर यू हैवंट डन टॉप ऑफ द स्केल जो अभी तक आप बोलेंगे कि भाई मैं जो मांगा मेरे को मिला, ये लाइट यहाँ थी, ये लाइट वहाँ थी. बिकॉज ऑलवेज द बजट, इन द एंड बजट ही के वजह से आपको खेलना
Yes,
पड़ता है कि
even
कौन सा लाइट.
so this I want to say that if you are thinking that this is only the first stage, कि अभी बजट नहीं है, मैं जब बड़ा बन जाऊंगा तो बजट ही बजट रहेगा, is not
नहीं.
true.
नहीं.
Even the biggest of directors, biggest of filmmakers, whether even if it's Christopher Nolan, will have budget issues. That producer will say, this is the budget you have to do in it.
Yeah.
Maybe the budget is obviously much higher than what we are making, for example. But then they will also have a constraint of budget. They will have a budget limit and they need to put everything in it.
कोई कमेंट्स में
somehow.
लिख रहा 2 रुपए में आजकल उस्मानिया बिस्किट भी नहीं मिलती.
दो रुपए में कैडबरी चक्की आता शायद ना,
नहीं मालूम बड़े भाई. इतना मालूम मेरे को, इतना मालूम मेरे को कि डेयरी मिल्क आता 5 रुपए का, इतना पतला कि वो चिकलेट से भी पतला.
अच्छा,
क्या
ऐसा कॉनकेव है वो?
कॉनकेव क्यों होता वो? कॉनकेव इसलिए होता कि उसके रिजिड है ही नहीं उसके 2 पॉइंट्स, तो उन्हें आप जैसा पकड़ो माउस कैसा हिलता वो जो
भाई छिलके गया था चॉकलेट, छिलका.
वो सार कैंडीज आते लंबे, वैसा है 5 रुपए का. 2 रुपए में क्या?
और उसका जो ब्रिक है ना भाई, ऐसा रहता ना, चॉकलेट का ब्रिक ऐसा है.
हाँ, नीचे से कौन क्या बोलते हैं उसको, कौन केव, सॉरी. तो वैसा है. सो एनीवे, आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल. एंड लाइक यू वर आस्किंग मी के क्या क्यों कहते हैं, लाइक डायरेक्टली से इट टू देम के भाई यू नो ये इफ यू ब्रेक डाउन द बजट आपको भी मालूम हो जाएगा कि क्यों, कि आई मीन व्हाई आर यू चार्जिंग सो मच. इट्स नथिंग रॉन्ग अबाउट इट. लेकिन टोपियां पिनाने वाले बरकरार रहेंगे टोपियां पिनाते हुए, हम बेचारे क्या बोलना. हाँ
वो भी मत करिए. 100 रुपए की चीज को आप 1000 में बेचना, प्लीज डोंट डू इट.
आप रिलीजियसली भी रॉन्ग है वो, एंड आप
मॉरली भी रॉन्ग है.
या आपके काम पर
चीज
असर हो सकता
गलत है उसमें.
जो चीज गलत है, जो चीज में पैसे इंस्टेंट आते हैं वो चीज गलत है मोस्टली. तो प्लीज अपना आप सोच के चले. और ये जबरदस्त बिजली कड़क रही है बाहर.
हाँ चलो, अब लाइट जाती है उससे पहले बंद. Luckily it did not go. That's surprising, man. It's because of my beautiful face. देखो पूरे रमजान का नूर दिख रहा मेरे चेहरे पे.
नूर ही नूर है इरफान भाई,
नूरी नूर है. चलिए इसी के साथ हम जाते हैं. आपको सब बिरयानी मिल बांट के खा के आप सबको ईद मुबारक.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
चलिए खुदा.
See you tomorrow.
See you.
Tomorrow नहीं, I don't know when.
Next week hopefully. Yeah,
middle of the week, I don't know. Just send in your topics, what you want us to discuss.
Look at my hair, man.
अरे जबरदस्त.
Yeah, dude. चलिए खुदा हाफिज.
खुदा हाफिज.